Yay! And hopefully this time we have volume and microphone action and such. Good day, my lovelies. I am Michelle, the Gypsy Mermaid, in my lovely loft space. And it's lofty living. Today I'm going to do some baking with me, the Gypsy Mermaid. I'm making my world-famous lemon ginger snaps, the soft, chewy kind. Ooh, yeah. Good times. And I'm using my brand new toy. Oh, the Kitchenaid Pro. Oh, my music in the background is skipping, so pardon me one moment while I go bonk it. Continue to stare at my lovely Kitchenaid. Oh, feel that shaft movement. Monkey. All right. Oh, and I'm sporting my brand new apron today. Good times. Okay, hang on. Yay, that was my little test. So yes, the volume is working. The microphone is working. Sweet. Okay, so for this recipe, I'm going to just tell you what you need because, you know, it's just easier that way. If you want to write it down, well, that's a good idea. It's probably a good idea. I could probably, I don't know, figure out a way to write it down for you, but no, I'm not going to. So you're just going to have to suck it up, sunshine. All right, hang on while I just find the recipe that I'm using. And then I'm going to, because this recipe, I actually add stuff to it, so giggity. Now this is actually, it's an online recipe on my, of course it's homemade Facebook page. It's actually listed up there. It's called Grandma's Ginger Snaps. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4.5 stars out of 5, so it's pretty damn good. It has 3/4, this is the recipe as it says on the thing. It says 3/4 cup margarine, cup of white sugar, 1 egg, 1/4 cup molasses, 2 cups of flour, tablespoon ground ginger, teaspoon ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of white sugar for decorations. Now, my slight adjustments to that, also the juice, fresh juice and rind of a fresh lemon, a whole lemon. Instead of white sugar, I use brown sugar because that's just the way I roll. Instead of margarine, I use, of course, real butter. Real butter. Ooh, butter. What else do I add in there? And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I have the general goo that goes in there. I might add a little bit here and there. Maybe I might throw in some white wine. You never know in my kitchen. I sometimes just get whims and go with that. So you should go with that too. Anyway, it's really super easy Uber to do. You just sort of throw it all together, and then you roll it up into balls. You put it on the cookie sheets. You roll them in the sugar, the white sugar for that. Yeah, okay. And then put them in the oven at about 350 for between 8 and 10 minutes. You really want to keep an eyeball on them. You want to pull them out before they become black. Now I say this because I have burnt many of my delicious cookies. And did I throw them out? No. No, they're so addictive, you end up eating them anyway. You're like, screw it, I'll eat them anyway. So in my lovely, I'm going to turn this down here a little bit. So basically, we're going to start creaming the sugar. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 1/2 white sugar and 1/2 brown sugar just to give it a little, I don't know, stability. Go with that. And the butter, and that gets creamed in here, and I'm using this, hang on, wait for it, I'll just aim this down. This attachment here, which is sort of the all-purpose attachment in here. You see it has a little nozzly thing. For those of you who have never used a Kitchenaid before, you just line it up and lock it in position. Good girl. Okay, so I'll put that up again then for just a tidge. There we go. So now you can sort of see me and you can sort of see the goo, right? Right. And I'm just going to throw up this recipe up here so that I can see what the what. Because it's good to see what you're actually, you know, never mind. I'm babbling. Babble, babble, babble. I don't have a beverage with me yet. It is definitely of that time. It's almost 8 o'clock and I don't have a beverage. That's just crazy. Hang on. We'll remedy that situation. some white wine tonight because it happens to be here and it happens to be open. So Mumsy brought this over for my housewarming, so we're going to have a little wine. And as I was mentioning, I might throw a little bit of wine into the cookies just for fun because, you know, why not? And I'm going to keep that in the fridge. Chill, 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 chill. Cheers, my lovelies. Delicious, delicious. All right, so we'll put that down there. So into this, we're going to do, what do I want? I want a cup of white sugar. So I'm going to do half a cup. Actually, do I even have sugar? Yes, I do. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? So I'm going to do half a cup of the brown sugar and half a cup of the white sugar. So we're just measuring into a measuring cup here. Well, approximately. Probably more like 3/4 and 1/4. That's close enough. Close enough. In my kitchen, I'm not a stickler for measurements because I end up throwing extra stuff in there and mucking about and playing it by earball, eyeball, and such, and it usually works out for the best. You end up tweaking recipes that, oh no, you must put exactly this much in, blah, blah, blah. Meh. Meh, I say. Then here is some sugar. Sugar. So we'll just measure in another half here. Okay. So we've got approximately, well, about 3/4 brown. It's probably about half and half because the brown sugar is fluffier than the white sugar, so it's not as dense in the cup. So yeah, go with that. Okay, so that goes in there. Now, while the sugar is out, I'm also going to put a little bit of sugar into a bowl so that when the dough is ready, we can roll it in the bowl. That'll come into play a little bit later. You'll see that a little bit later. Okay. And then, I try to tend to keep things clean and orderly. Clean as you go, as it will, yes? Now I want, what is this? 3/4 cup of butter. I always use butter. I don't like margarine. Margarine is fake. It's not the real deal, so don't do it, man. Don't do it. I'm going to need you. So we want a cup of butter. Cup of butter. Some recipe was out there called for a stick of butter. For us Canadians, we don't know what the hell a stick of butter is. It turns out a stick of butter is a half cup of butter. I just like saying butter now. In you go. Alright. There we go. Giggity. And you can go over there. Just because you're out of the way there. Okay. So for this, hang on. With the Rubbermaid, or the Kitchenaid Rubbermaid, on the side here, hang on, I gotta move the wine out of the way. On the side, you'll see there is a handle. Right now it's in the down position. You crank the handle up. Woo! It locks in a position. It's brought the bowl up so you can use the meaty thing. Alright? And then you just hit the switch on the side here. Oh, look at that sucker go around. We can turn it a little higher. And that will beat the butter and the sugar into submission. Creaming it, if you will. Woo! Look at that sucker go. Yeehaw! It's like watching a game. Woo! Alright. Now as it blends like this, as you can see it's getting creamier and creamier. You'll notice that there's probably a little bit of the sugar stuff on the bottom down there. And the butter on the sides. Oh, it's actually getting it all now. That's good. What you can do is you can turn it off. Hush, now, darling. Take your handy Jim Dandy spatula, and you just scooch it down on the sides. Just wipe it on the blade there. Scooch it down. Scooch so that it can get all the goo and blend it all in, so it doesn't miss out on any stuck on the side from that beating action. You don't want to be stuck on the side from beating action. Alright, hang on. So we'll just scooch that all down. Scooch! Scooching down, not like when you're at the gynecologist scooching down. That's an entirely different thing. I'm sorry, but that's what that word kind of reminded me of. Okay, so we've scooched down. I'm just going to be giggling about that all night now. Alright. I know you are too. Don't you try not to mock that. Okay, so we'll turn this on again. Creamy! Go creamify! Creamy, 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 go creamy. Sweet. Okay, now to this, we're going to add egg and molasses. So we'll take a whole egg. Sploosh. There's an egg. And molasses. We need a 1/4 cup of molasses. I have pure fancy molasses. Ooh, how exciting. Tea with a pounds. We want what? A 1/4 cup? Yes, a 1/4 cup. What the hell's this measuring thing here? There it is. Blurf. Blurf. Oh, 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 what a mess. Okay, there we go. So 1/4 cup molasses. We just go bloof. It's slow pouring, so we'll just give it a little help along with the spatula here, because that's what you do, right? Hang on. Give me a grape. Alright. Still love singing this song. Alright, now I've got molasses on the outside of my Kitchenaid. Kick ass. That's okay, that's what cleaning is for afterwards, right? Yeah, go with that. Okay, so there we go. Good times. Fling. And now that we're done with the molasses, well, we'll just put it away. Put it away, because we don't need it anymore. Alright, here you go. And then also, we can throw in, well, let's see. You're in there. Blendy, blendy. Just like magic. It's got kind of more of a whappa noise going on right now. I'm going to leave that with you. Whappa. While I stroke the top of my red shiny toy. I know I'm terrible. I know. Deal with it. Okay. And again, obviously what you can do if you get stuff that's sticking on the side, turn it off. You can actually lower the bucket down, and take your spatula, and scooch down, again, scooch down the bits that are stuck on the side, just to make sure that everything gets thoroughly blended and mixed, and isn't left out on the side going, whoa, what's wrong with me, man? Just because I'm super cool and I happen to be right up at the very top. You want to blend me too, right? Right? Yeah. All right. There we go. So, the next goo that we can add, I'm going to need you in a minute, is things like flour, ginger, cinnamon, baking soda, and salt. And you just add that all in there. So let's see, what do we got here? I need a tablespoon of ginger. I have some Chinese ginger here, organic. Yeah, all right. So we want a tablespoon, huh? Okay. Well, I'm going to say a little bit more than that. All right. I'll say it's about a tablespoon. Fling. See, you like my measuring techniques? Yes. It's all about eyeballing, right? And what do we want? Cinnamon? We want a teaspoon, so that's, you know, less. Now, I know some of you are going to be tempted to do that stupid trick that a lot of people have done. The whole, I bet you can't eat a teaspoon of cinnamon raw, which is really stupid. Don't do that. There is about a teaspoon. Fling. Okay. And then, what else do we want? Oh, teaspoons of baking soda. Baking soda. Oh. Okay. We want 2 teaspoons. That's about 1. Ah. Fling. And there's, ooh, it's kind of sparkly. I didn't know baking soda was sparkly. 2. Things you learn. Okay, and so that and this and that can go away now. Back, you animals! Back into the closet! Into the darkness! Okay, now, do I want to put nutmeg in? I don't know. I have nutmeg available to me. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm going to throw a little tiny pinch, just a little bit, of nutmeg. Just because I want to. It wasn't in the recipe, but there you go. See, I add all kinds of shit all the time. Alright, so that's in there. And then we want how much flour? 2 cups of flour. Ooh, you know what? It didn't call for vanilla either, but I like vanilla. So, good, it's good. I'm going to do a capful, not the palm this time. This is a capful of, this is pure vanilla, not artificial, fake, crap, real stuff, please. Only the real quality, not quantity. Okay, so vanilla's in. Nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon's in. And now I need something to put you on. Let's put it on this. How about that? Move you over here for a second. Shop, shop, shop. Okay, just sit there. And I need, like I say, 2 cups. 2 cups flour. See, I have the recipe online. It's right beside you, watching me, watching you. So, now we'll measure up. And for the flour, yeah, I'm using a measuring cup. It's not exact, it's not leveled off, it's not freaking Martha Stewart who kicked me out of her property on the East Coast in the Gypsy Caravan. Yeah, Martha, don't forget, I haven't forgotten about that. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Alright, she did not even have the balls to come up and say hello. 2 cups. There we go. And we're going to take the spatula just to scoopy out the goo and put it in there because we don't want to miss all of our lovely ingredients, right? Yeah, go with that. Okay. Wapacha. Goodly enough. Alright, now also at this point, put the flour away because we're done with the flour now. I have cookie pans in the oven. This was little apple tarts that I made earlier. Oh, apple tarts. They're kind of jammy apple tarts too. So I have some cookie sheets in here that happen to fit exactly the size of the oven. So take those out momentarily. I'm going to put this one. Maybe we'll just leave this one in. Woo, hot! I can stay in there for now. Just so I have something there. And I need a knife. Because every good chef needs a good knife, yes? Okay. Okay, so. And a good glass of wine. Lovely. So as I said, I wanted to add the zest of this lemon. And the juice of it. So first, I'm going to zest it. This is a handy little tool that I have. Where is it? There it is. Zesty zester. And you just basically pull it. Whoops. Pull it like this. And it just pulls the zest right off. So we're just going to quickly zest the whole lemon here. Going all the way around. Whoops. Yes, it really helps while you're doing this if you squeeze. Something about getting a better grip while you clench. I don't know. Ignore me, I'm just babbling. Okay, so there we go. Zesty, zesty. There's a lot of flavor in the zest. Do not discount it. You don't have to make it any smaller than what it looks, and you don't have to chop it up after this. Some people will because they don't want to have the whole thing in there, but just throw the whole thing in. Okay? So you're zesting the entire lemon. Oh, it smells so clean and fresh. I put lemon in almost everything that I cook and bake with now, savory or sweet. It makes it so much fresher and tastier and healthier, and mostly the tastier part is what I'm going for. All right. There we go. So I've pretty much zested the whole thing. As you can see, it's got lovely little track marks all over it now. There. You see it's kind of all zested. And then this, all of this lovely goo, the zest, just goes right on in there. Here you go. There you go. There you go. And then, not to forget the entire lovely lemon itself, do your best to pick out the seeds that are in there, because you really don't want seeds in there. That would not be a pleasurable cookie nomming thing. Now, I know I did say that these cookies involve a little bit of, like a tiny pinch of salt, and we will get to that in a moment. I have a small predicament with the salt aspect of the recipe, as I only have coarse sea salt. So I have to kind of give it a good sort of mortar and pestle grinding, as it were, before it goes in. Because if you get a big chunk of sea salt in your ginger snap cookie, yeah, you can taste it. It's quite salty. It's like, oh, that was salt. You don't want that. You want everything to be blended and lovely and doodly-doo. Blended and lovely and doodly-doo. Yes, entirely. Okay, so I think I got most of those out of there. Just to make it easy, I'm going to put the juice right into here, just in case there's any seeds that I've forgotten. I'm just going to squeeze it into my measuring cup. That way, if there's any seeds, I can pull them out before it actually goes into the mix, right? Because you don't want seeds in there, right? Squeeze, squeeze, twist and squeeze and twist. And yeah, a whole seed came out, so good thing I did that. And then the other one, other half. And it gives you, wow, it almost gives you like a quarter cup of liquid in here. This is good to know. Is that another seed? Yeah, seeds. Giggly. Whoop, there goes another seed. Okay. So now I just want to pick out these seeds before I put this lovely fresh squeezed lemon juice in there. That's a lot of lemon juice. Holy hell. I didn't realize that much juice came out of a lemon. The things you learn, right? So now we're just going to sort of scooch out seeds, because we don't want those in there. Seeds out, seeds be gone. Okay. And it's fine that you're using the same measuring cup. It's dirty because it's got molasses and flour in it, but these things are already in there, so it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Don't create more dishes that you're going to have to clean anyway later, right? Okay. One more. You tricky little mopo. All right, good time. So, yeah, there's just under a quarter cup of lemon juice in there. Schwa! And now it's all in there. Good times. All right, so on the respective clean as you go, I'm going to put this up here, and we're going to get a whoosh of flour. If I was very clever, I would have something to drape around here to protect that, but I'm just going to turn it on super slow. If you turn it up fast at this point, you're going to get flour going, whoosh! And really, that's not good. It covers flour over. So we're just going to let it go nice and slow and speed it up as it gets more blended. In the meantime, I'm going to take away this goo and clean as I go. Oh. Alright. Okay, so as you can see, it's all blended. There's no more free-form flour flying around, so I can turn it up a bit. Fwappa fwappa. That's the one. And the color, as you're creaming it, the better creamed it is, the lighter color it becomes. It starts out as like a darker caramel color, and the more you flap it in there, it almost becomes like a golden beige. I don't know. It just becomes lighter color. All right, good time. Now, while that's finishing its flapping, I'm probably going to pull it down at least one more time and scooch it down. What? Giggity. One moment. Okay, hang on just a second here. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna turn it right down. I'm gonna lower it down here, Tidge. Lowered with the handle on the side. I'm gonna take another spatula because I just put the other one there to wash, so whatever. And again, I'm gonna do the whole fwappa. Scooch it on down. Scooch. Those are today's keywords. Scooch down and fwappa. The Lemon Ginger Snaps cookies have been brought to you by Scooch Down and fwappa. Alright, so it's all down off the edges. No little parts of mix have been left behind. All natural, all tasty, all delicious goo in there. Good times. Okay? I know, you want to lick it, don't you? Push that back up there and give it another beating. Beat it! Okay, stay there then. Ooh. Now delicious. So, at this point, what you want to do is go back to your recipe and make sure that you've put everything in you're supposed to. And immediately looking at this recipe, I realize that I have not put in the salt yet. And ginger snaps, it's kind of important. So, I'm going to take a tiny bit of sea salt, coarse ground sea salt, and try and make it into fine ground sea salt, so it's not quite as salty. That's the plan. Hang on. Giggity, go. All right. Now then, I need something for pounding of salt. Pounding of salt. Where did I put that, Jeff? That'll work. All right. Just so I can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to take. You only want a pinch. So you see how that's just. What the hell is it? There. It's tiny amount of salt. Being coarse sea salt and all. So you scoosh it into the middle there. If I had a mortar and pestle, yeah, it'd be easy, but I'm just going to do this kind of gently with a big bottom glass. Just crush it down. Crush it. Crush. I crush you. Make sure you don't have any big honking nuggets of salt. Because like I say, otherwise you get this very, very salty flavor. So, not a bueno thing. Alright. It's not super fine, but it's definitely not as coarse as it was. Okay, hang on. There, you see there in the middle. Anyway, it's just a tiny wee pinch. Fling! And in she goes. And now we will give it another little mixy. And, oh, I can use that plate. There we go. And a little taste. It's gonna be good. Yum! Ooh! Oh yeah, I said I was gonna add a little bit of wine, didn't I? Just a little, we didn't want to waste it. Now, flappa. If you find the consistency of your dough, which you're going to turn into balls, is too skoosh, you add a little bit of flour. But if you add too much flour, then they're not going to be as soft and melt in your mouth texture when they're cooked. Keep that in mind. So you can add a little bit of flour if they're not quite up to snuff to make a ball, okay? But then, like I say, if you add too much flour, then they become like hard ginger snaps that are actually hard and ginger snappist, as opposed to melt in your mouth goodness. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, let's see. We're going to take off our little majiggly here. Slightly washed off. Anyway, and we're going to just take all the goo off of our little spatula thingy. Hang on, you can see. It'd be nice if you could see what the hell is going on, right? Yeah, go with that. Alright, so there we go. Just like that. In the morning. Scooshy. Daytime. Because you don't want to waste this. This is precious gold in your hands. Tasty gold. Figuratively speaking. I know, because when I made these last year, I totally sold out and had to do I don't know how many more batches. It was crazy. And the minimal batches that I've made this year already completely gone. Eaten, done, finished. Completely in demand. Very tasty. Alright, you. Such a new thing. Fever started long ago. Well, I'm going to have to lick that later. Alright, so at this point, again, we're scooching all the stuff off the edge. Oh, I can't get you on there. That's not good. Mark. Okay. Scooching off the side. And I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to unplug my Kitchenaid because I don't need... I unplug it when I'm not functioning, just in case by accident I happen to slip and hit the switch, and then, you know, you don't want that to happen. So, and to remove this from the edges, on each side here, one here, and one here on the other side, you just lift it up off the perch. See how it's hooked on the side with these little guys right here? They sit into these. So, ta-da! So there we have our cookie dough. Now, next stage, we have this bowl of sugar, remember? Ah, the sugar, yeah, the white granulated sugar. So, with the white granulated sugar, We're going to make this dough now into little balls. Just roll them in the palm of your hand, like you're rolling balls. I know I'm terrible. I already know that. All right. And then you roll the balls in the sugar. Roll your balls in the sugar. I already know. There's no point. It just gets worse from here. All right. There we go. Giggity. I'll just put that into the bowl. Now this dough, for instance, is actually a little squishy. I might actually have to add, because it's quite sticky. I'm going to try and roll a ball. I'll do a test ball. A test ball. In fact, I'm going to try one with, I'm going to do the spoon technique to see if I can get it to work. If I can't get it to work with the spoon technique, then I will bring in extra flour. So this is a teaspoon. So I'm going to get a fairly decent teaspoon, which is similar to like a tablespoon. Now, as you can see, I'm not actually rolling it with my hands into a ball. I'm just sort of clumping it into a form. Because I really don't want to add I don't really want to add the flour personally. I like the soft and chewy version as opposed to the hard and crunchy, snappy version. But as you see here, I've rolled it in the flour just using the spoons, and that's pretty damn close enough to a ball. It will melt fairly quickly. It might even start to melt as it's on here. You want to make sure you have a lot of space on your cookie sheet, as I found out last time I made these, on this particular cookie sheet, because they do melt out quite a bit and take up a good chunk of space. So we'll just quickly make a bunch of balls and throw them in the oven. How's that sound? Make a bunch of balls, throw them in the oven, make a bunch of balls. I don't know, play with your balls in the oven? It just, like I said, it just gets worse. Okay. Come here, delicious ball. I'm actually just going to do 2. I'm going to do maybe 6 on this cookie sheet, because they're going to spread out quite a bit. Because I didn't add that flour, they're also going to have a tendency to spread out even more. Which for me is good. I'm totally down with it. I'm giggity. Alright, so put this ball in here. Now also keep in mind, because you're putting sugar on the outside of them, if you have excess sugar, like I just did over here, see the excess sugar around the ball? That is going to melt and burn in your oven, so you want to try and clear that up before you put it into the heat of the oven, to save yourself some burnt sugar in the oven goo to contend with, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Okay. In fact, what I might do is just do one of these. Let's see. Just give you a little bit of distance. Yeah, this is quite gooey. So you might personally prefer to add just a tidge, and when I say just a tidge, I mean literally just a tidge of flour. You'll see the difference in the consistency of the dough, and you'll judge. But when you take them out of the oven, that is when the big judging will come across as to, oh, maybe I shouldn't have put that extra flour in, because then they get thicker and bulkier and more snappish. Snappish. All right, so there we go. Do a quick, what do I got here, 6, and maybe do 8. I don't know if I can fit 8 on this particular cookie sheet. Let's see. And they do cook really quickly. You want to take them out before you think they're done, because they also burn very quickly. Just to let you know. It's true. Alright. It's already starting to melt on the pan because the oven is hot, so the melting of the cookie to make that lovely cookie shape has already begun. Alright. I'm just absorbing that spilt sugar because I don't really want that all over the bottom of the cookie. Just burn and make it black and nasty. Burn. That's not good. Okay. Not that it stopped me from eating them in the past, like I said. Okay, so now we're just going to put these into the oven. Where's my clock? Clock, because I have not mastered the timer on this particular oven, and when I tried to last time, that's when I burnt cookies. 8:29. Schwa. So, woo, heat. Throw those in now. And I'm going to take out that spare sheet that was in there. Put the next batch on. Shabada. Good times. How many cookies does this make? Because I know you're asking. I don't know. If you make cookies that are big, then you'll have less cookies. If you make cookies that are teeny tiny, then you'll have bajillions of them. This recipe says it makes 3 dozen. Yeah, no. I've never made 3 dozen cookies on any recipe. Because I tend to make cafe-style cookies that are actually, you know, big enough to have with a whole cup of coffee. Not just, oh, here's a little cookie for you. No. Unless you're making bites. And you can make lemon ginger snap bites. Sure, why not? But, yeah. Bites are not meant for cookies. They're meant for something else. All right. Giggity. So I'm going to continue putting the rest of these in here, and then I'm going to pull them out, and they'll be done in, like, let us say, what are we at now? 29, 30, 1 minute. So we'll give them another 7 minutes, and then I might probably pull them out and take a little look-see. While we're doing that, we'll just get the second batch in here. Quick as cake and pie and baked cookies and all that kind of goo all together, right? Sure. We'll see. You can mainly see what's going on there. There we go. All right. I know that's rather hot. Hot! Hot, I tell you. Hot. Crazy hot. So what did I have on there? Did I have 8 on that last sheet? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 8, 16, maybe, let's see, 24, maybe 2 dozen, maybe. I usually bag them up in bags of, I usually do 4 or 5 per bag when I sell them or give them away as gifts. And that's usually more than enough, maybe 4. So it does a nice little batch of cookies. Nice little batch of cookies. Not too many, so you don't have to feel guilty about eating the whole bag. Or sharing them with a friend or two over coffee. That's all good. That works. Alright, let's put that there. Just try and swoosh up that sugar. Swoosh up the sugar. Sugar, do-do-do-do-do-do. Arg. Alright. Mixing with the sugar and the dough and the ball. See, normally, yeah, you can roll them in your palm and make them into balls, and they're perfect little balls. Wah, 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 but, whatever. Whatever. Nothing in life is perfect. Anybody who tells you otherwise is lying through their teeth and using Photoshop and editing video software equipment and doesn't lead a very healthy, happy life. It's the imperfection in things where you find all the good stuff, right? Go with that, yeah. Alright. Now then, whoops. Ball. Ball for you, ball for me. Ball for you, ball for me. And yes, this is awesome, wicked cool, cookie dough raw. I'm restraining big time while I'm sharing with you by not eating. So it's about probably like a tablespoon or a heaping, mounding teaspoon ball you're making here. And as they come out, you'll see, whoops, you'll see how big they are. The last batch I made, my cookies actually melted and gooed over so much they went over the side of the pan and burned. That was a very, very sad moment. I was like, no! Dripping over like a melted piece of art. Oh, sadness. So I tried to not put them that close to the edge this time. And don't make them too big. Well, you can make them bigger, for sure. But then, again, you risk the whole sliding over the edge deal. Okay, so this is the second batch going in. I'm just going to sop up some of that sugar. Alright. Oh yeah, the other ones are already totally flattened out, and just around the edges, I can see they're getting a little bit darker, which means that they are getting cooked. And it has been, how many minutes now? 4 or 5 minutes. So we're pretty much right on mark for the whole, 7 to 10 minute dealio. So we'll see how that goes. That's all good. And hang out for a second. Hang out for a moment. I'll make some more of these bad boys, but I don't have anywhere to put them. Where can I put them? Let's see. I guess technically I could. We'll just make some more cookies and we'll put them on this wooden chopping board. I know it looks like a wooden chopping board. It's pretty awesome. It's actually a piece of wood that was supposed to be a panel. See how it's kind of a lovely little majig there? And I saw it, and I thought, oh, I can make some art out of that or something. And then I thought, hey, I really need a wooden chopping board. So I have one like this, and I have one like this, which was also supposed to be a panel for a cabinet or a door that I just salvaged from, I don't know, I think it was the free lumber pile at Home Depot or Rona or Recycle or something. I can't remember, but yeah, you find all kinds of goo out there that you can use. Thoroughly cleaned, of course. There's no varnish or anything on them. They're just bare wood. So there you go. There you go. Good to know, right? All right, cookie. We'll just finish up this batter, and then the next batch that comes out, I can put these ones right in. Hot diggity dog. And all is kick-ass and well, right? Our girl's best friend. Alright, and freaking tastic. And if you're tuning in after this has been recorded, well, good for you. That is all good. That just means we can't chat or anything, but that's alright. That is all well. I'm very glad YouTube, combined with Google Plus and all the other partners and goo that's in there, that this is all available to happen in fairly seamless streaming, live streaming, so that's good. Happy with that. Makes a lovely platform to do live segments from. Okay, so we're getting back to the end of the bat. So I've got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, maybe 21, 22 cookies. Yeah, good size cookies though, not little hunky cookies. Hunky cookies. Right there. Making up words now, aren't I? Alright. Get that ice or else no dice. He's your guy when it starts. But beware when they start to descend. There we go. Maybe one more. Funky little bite-sized one. I don't think there's much dough left in here. Alright, lemon ginger snaps that aren't really snappy, they're just snappy in the cool sense, but chewy and melt in your mouth. Goodness. So good. Okay. This is a tiny little pinky one. Maybe I can steal some from that one. Not quite as big. You stand straight to me. There you go. If the other ones are too big, just steal some from those. And then make them all the same. So giggity. Let's start. So I got 16 and 6. Hot damn. And now, now I can eat the spoon. Both the spoons. Delightful. Delightful and delicious. And we'll check this, and I'm almost ready to pull out. Almost. Now, did anybody want to lick the bowl? See, if you were at the front door, I would let you lick my spoon. Because I'm scraping the rounds in here, and this is going to be enough for a good licking. Alright, so that can go in there. This can come out here for later. Good times. Shabada. We'll wipe down the counter. We'll wipe down the counter over here. And then we'll take a little close look at the flock, and we'll pull them out. See, we don't have to do the magic of time elapse frame because it literally takes just that long. 8:40, so they've been in there now 9 minutes. 9 minutes. That is a good thing. What the hell is that? Cancel. Oh, my CD is doing funny things. Hang on. Mark! Show me that. Dirty, dirty CD. Alright. Good times. Let's do a little tap test here. So by just gently touching the top of the cookie where it's poofed up, it's just quietly going, deflating a tidge. So it's still pretty squishy. However, you want to take them out just before they get that cooked, brown, golden doodly-doo look on the top, because as they cool down from the poofy stage, they condense into themselves again and become nice and thinnish with that sort of chewy, melt in your mouth, literally thing. So I might just pull those out in a second, because let's just double check our time here. 41. So that has been, I can't, what the hell time did I put them in? 29, 39, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to pull out the first batch and put them all up here. You can take a look at them. Because they're starting to get goldenish on, or brownish on the outside, which is a sign you don't want them to get too brownish on the outside. You can see they're sort of getting a darker brown on the outside. They're still poofy. However, if you let them just set just gently like this, they'll get that chewy, not raw, but still super soft, melt in your mouthy, flavory type. And at this point, what I've done before in the past, the other ones are down there melting good. What I've done in the past with those is if I have taken them out just a tidge too early, you can always throw them back in the oven for like a minute, maybe 2, and just give them a little bit extra cooking time, but be super careful not to burn them, because if you put them in too long, they're full of sugar, man. They will burn. And as much as I say, yeah, I don't let any of those burn ones go to waste, they're not as tasty as the perfect ones. And when I say perfect, I don't mean perfect. I mean like, oh my god, these are good. Addictive. Uber good. How about that? Does that work for you? I don't know. Have I contradicted myself enough? I don't know. Sure. Go with that. All right. If you have any questions at all, well, obviously you're not online right now to talk to me. I guess you can always throw me an email, thegypsymermaid@gmail.com. You can look me up on Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, pretty much anything out there. I'm all over the damn place. Google. There's all kinds of blogs that I do. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos that I put up on YouTube from my adventures across North America. Now that I have my loft space. My lofty living segments will become more frequent, and there'll be more cooking, there'll be more music, there'll be more interviews, there'll be all kinds of everything all more. Oh my God, crazy time. All right, so you see the cookies, how they're sort of just gently deflating just a little bit. Now, generally, when you touch them on the top, if they're super soft, the key is put them back in. They shouldn't be soft on the top. But for these particular cookies, you want them to be just a little soft on the top because that means they're going to be nice and chewy afterwards. So there you go. Just slightly darker brown on the outside. If you let them go too much past that, they burn, and we don't want that. I'm just going to quickly check the other batch in here, which are coming along there on the bottom, the lower shelf. So I'm going to pull them out now because they are also already getting that brown look on the outside. As you can see, slightly brown on the outside. So we're going to put these down here somewhere, possibly here. I don't want them to slide or anything, but that'll be fine. See this little guy here? He was trying to sneak off the edge. Tricky bastard. Can't put the other guys in the oven until these guys come off. Almost at the point where I can remove them. Almost. These guys are a little bit firmer than my first batch because they were on the lower shelf, which was obviously a tidge warmer on the lower shelf. So we'll just let them sit for a little bit, and then I'll throw the other ones in, and we'll be good. And yeah, I will be nibbling on my lovely addictive lemon ginger soft chewy melt in your mouth goodness snaps momentarily, as soon as it cools down enough to sample. Quality control, if you will. And you too can be as well. Again, I will run through the list of ingredients. Let's see, 3/4 cup butter. It says margarine. I put in butter. Did I put in a cup? I put in almost a cup. Whoops. That might be why they're a little squishy. Whatever. A cup of white sugar. Well, I actually put in 3/4 cup brown sugar and 1/4 cup of white sugar. That was my little addition there. An egg, yes. 1/4 cup molasses, yes. 2 cups of flour, yes. Tablespoon or so of ground ginger, yes. Teaspoon of ground cinnamon, yeah, about that. 2 teaspoons baking soda, yep. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which is like a pinch, and I took my coarse ground sea salt and crushed it on down. Squish, squish, squish. Threw that in. It also says 1/2 cup of white sugar for decoration, which is what we just did. We rolled them in the sugar to put them on, and then you put them in there. And I also added in the zest of a whole lemon and the juice of a whole lemon, which also made it a little bit more squishy in the texture, and a tiny sploosh of white wine, just because I was, drinking it, so you got to share what you're drinking with what you're cooking. Diddly-do. So yes, if you want them to be a little bit more firm, you add a little bit more flour. I didn't because I like them chewy and melt in your mouthy. So that's what I did. Giggity, giggity, giggity. Do they not look freaking tabulous? I tell you what. All right, well, cheers, my darlings. Again, Gypsy Mermaid in the loft, the lofty life with Gypsy Mermaid. Ha, ha, ha. Have a fabulous night. I'm going to be indulging in cookies, and you can be too in a matter of, 30 minutes? That's fantastic. All right, my lovelies. Peace, love, and positive energy. Love to you all. Enjoy.